So have you found that in your business journey that you've had to fight against that or any form of imposter syndrome coming from a different career?
When you have an abundance mindset, you know there's enough piece of the pie of real estate, of life out there for all of us to have a piece. Is really just looking at other people's journeys and realizing that where I want to be and that I'm not there yet. And it took a minute to realize that these people that I want to be have been in the business 10, 20, 30 years. And here I am, little old me, year 3, I've created a hell of a business in a very short amount of time. I'm going to tap myself on the shoulder for that one because I've worked really hard. But again, it's when you have this abundance mindset, things will always find you.
Welcome to Power Your Voice. Today we have joining us Stephanie Staneart. Thank you for coming, Stephanie.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Stephanie not only is an extremely successful real estate agent in the Chicagoland market, she has an interesting past, and that's what we're going to explore a little bit today. The idea of starting something new does not mean starting over, especially as entrepreneurs a little bit later and past our 20s and then we're starting to get into our careers. We think of things a little bit differently and we learn. We figure out what we like, we figure out what we don't like, and who knows, sometimes we even do something dramatic like change careers altogether. So welcome, Stephanie. And I will just start out and saying, can you tell us a little bit about what you do now?
Yes, I am a realtor here in the Chicagoland suburbs, serving mainly the western suburbs, but I kind of go everywhere except for the beast of the city.
The beast of the city. The beast of the city means Chicago, right?
Chicago, yeah. Chicago is its own beast of real estate.
And how long have you been doing this?
I'm heading into year 4.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're over the 3-year hump.
Yes. Yes.
But this is not where the story begins. This is a very different story. So can you tell us a little bit about what you originally started out doing earlier in your career and where you thought your career path would lead?
Yeah. So I originally was a cardiac nurse. I grew up in the medical field. I've had 2 open heart surgeries, which a lot of people don't know about. And when you are born and you are around something your entire life, you tend to gravitate towards that. And I always have had this heart of just wanting to help and care for people. And I thought that I could do that through nursing. Mm-hmm. I became a nurse. I was a cardiac nurse for 12 years. I went through all different facets of the medical field, from step-down ICU, stress lab, vascular lab. I mean, I tried it all to see if I could find my happy. And when I realized that I went down all these different paths, I wasn't finding my happy. And I realized it wasn't nursing, or it was me. I needed to find something that made me happy and truly help others. And I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I actually grew up in real estate. My grandfather was a realtor. So I grew up also going to open houses and showings. And so I realized that maybe it was time to tap into that little bit of a journey.
That makes total sense. I think a lot of times, coming also from a healthcare background, we find ourselves in these caregiving roles. And then oftentimes what happens is it makes you tired. Mm-hmm. Did you ever feel that maybe nursing was more draining than you thought it would be energizing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you work 3/12s every other weekend, holidays, I mean, yes, you only work 3 days a week. But when I had to take the next day after a shift to mentally, physically decompress and recharge, I knew that it was time for a change. I would bring my work home. I would, it wasn't fair to my family to have that burden of other people's lives on our lives when I couldn't
separate.
I couldn't cut it off. I couldn't cut it off.
It's hard. It's like that feeling of always on, always emotionally on, always mentally on. So when you realized that you needed to make a change, not only for your professional career, but also for your personal enjoyment, what was it other than reflecting back on the story of your grandfather and it being the family business? Why real estate?
So it's actually really funny because I did a stint in home health. And I loved it because I was able to make my own schedule. I was able to kind of finagle things so it fit my life versus me clocking in, clocking out. And what I found was that I actually really enjoyed seeing people's houses when I went in versus, wrapping their wounds or whatever. Not that I didn't care about that stuff, but it just made that little piece of the job a little bit more enjoyable for me. And just knowing that I could still connect with people. And so we came across some instances with our family, and my husband was like, just do it. You've been sitting on your real estate license for a year, just finish the course. Let's see what happens. I'm like, okay. And here we are.
Well, that's a great story. I love that. I also remember that as a child, everyone would want to come over to our house. And I remember thinking, no, I want to go over to their house because I want to see how they live. I want to see what it looks like in their room. I want to see what the house colors are. So I totally get that and resonate with that idea of I love to look at other people's houses.
Oh yeah, like even growing up, my dad would always joke, like we would go from one place to the next. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And he's like, what do you mean? You just went? I'm like, I just wanted to see what their bathrooms looked like. So it's always been that knack in me of like, I want to see what the trends, I want to see what they're doing. So it's been in me for a while.
Yes. And so when you transition from that idea of I'm going from a corporate type of mindset to more of an entrepreneurial type of mindset, what were some of the things that you had to overcome?
Oof. A consistent salary, maybe. Nobody really explains how difficult that truly is of going from the consistency of knowing you are getting X amount of dollars every 2 weeks. You've got your 401k, you've got your health insurance. Nobody really prepares you to going into a business where you're building from ground zero to what it is today, and knowing and how to prepare for market changes, the inconsistency of transactions, taxes that aren't automatically taken out, all the business expenses that just end up feeling like you're hemorrhaging sometimes when you don't have those deals coming in. If I could give one piece of advice, it's definitely to make sure that you have a good old nest egg before you transition, because that's probably the hardest thing that I've had to overcome.
I think that's a really good point. And the idea of a nest egg and what's comfortable to people can be very different, right? Some people are like, I need my 3 months emergency fund. And some people are like, I need to know I've got 12 months of income sitting in my banking account. So that's a really good point, is just to establish your own comfort baseline of where do you feel that you could be and not go right into that scarcity mindset.
Correct.
Because once we get there, we know what happens. Yeah. It's a direct spiral down. And the last thing that someone wants to do is work with someone that has a scarcity mindset.
Oh, yeah.
So have you found that in your business journey that you've had to fight against that, or any form of imposter syndrome coming from a different career?
Oh my gosh. You're hitting on all like the pain points of my life. No, just kidding. So what we call it in real estate is commission breath. And clients, anyone that you're working with can smell it. And what that means is that when you have an abundance mindset, there's enough piece of the pie of real estate, of life out there for all of us to have a piece. When this commission breath comes in, it's, you start to feel scarcity. You start to scrounge for every penny. You start to put your clients' needs at the back burner because you're just trying to get this deal done because you need that paycheck to hit like next week or tomorrow or today. And so that was a really big piece of the pie where I'm like, I don't need that. I know what is meant for me will always find its way. And I try to tell people that, especially as they're growing their business, like, just focus on you and everything else will follow. The biggest imposter syndrome I've had is really just looking at other people's journeys and realizing that where I want to be and that I'm not there yet. And it took a minute to realize that these people that I want to be have been in the business 10, 20, 30 years. And here I am, little old me, year 3, and I've created a hell of a business in a very short amount of time. I'm going to tap myself on the shoulder for that one because I've worked really hard. But again, it's when you have this abundance mindset, things will always find you.
Well, I think it's important to remember that you're not behind, you're beginning.
Correct.
And your beginning, as you said, as a toddler is very different from a preteen or a teenager, or can you imagine being a grown adult doing this for over 20 years?
Yeah.
That's going to look very differently. Not to say that the market's not always changing.
Correct.
But let's get a few tips that you give to your potential clients, on your sellers. If someone's thinking of selling their home and they're in that beginning phase where they're like, I don't know who to go with. I don't know who's going to sell my home for the best amount. What should I do? What's the one piece of advice that you would give to them?
Absolutely interview agents, 100%. And I tell people that because you have to feel comfortable with that person, not only personality-wise, but marketing-wise, strategic planning, strategic pricing, because just because an agent's going to tell you, absolutely, I can list your house for $50,000 over what you actually want to get for it, does not mean it's going to sell. The longer you sit on the market, the longer you're going to see buyers start to give you lowball offers, and you're really not going to net what you want to. So really do that due diligence, look them up online, get feedback, ask if you can actually talk to some of their clients, because that's going to be, anyone can write a Google review, honestly, but if you can have a conversation with one of their past clients, you're going to get the key to exactly how that person works.
I agree. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's all about a relationship business. And building the relationship can look very different at different stages. So you don't want to jump in and try and do something extreme when you're first in the get to know you phase.
Correct.
Have you seen that happen in your industry before?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it always fails. It always fails. So that's why, and I go back because people always laughed at me when I went from nursing to real estate, and they couldn't understand how I transitioned so seamlessly. But nursing is very relational. You're dealing with someone's biggest life event, typically. Hard times, a lot of emotion, very vulnerable. When you're buying and selling real estate, very emotional, big investment, always, lots of moving pieces. So they really do go hand in hand. And having someone that's in your corner that really truly cares about you as a person versus that commission check at the end, it shines through every aspect of the transaction.
I think you bring up a really excellent point, which is it is so transferable, because if you think of it, you are a crisis worker as a nurse. Yeah. You are constantly dealing with people who are in pain and handling it well or not well at any given time.
Correct.
So you have to be in front of it to be the best triage nurse you can be. And that's really no different if you think about it in real estate or any sales environment. Once you have the discovery with the client, then you can uncover, okay, what are the pain points? What are we on a scale from 1 to 10? I always envision that scale that you see in the hospital is like the really frowny face on the 1, and then the 10's like, oh, I'm fine. I don't even need to be here.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps you understand not only your potential client and where they are, but also what their fears are and what their motivations are. And once you uncover that, I feel like that's the real recipe to establishing trust and an authentic relationship.
Absolutely.
There's been so much discussion recently over authentic relationships, authentic businesses, how we should act, how we should perform, and how we should run our lives. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think authenticity is such like a tagline now. Like, it's so, I don't even know how to say it. It doesn't even feel authentic anymore to be authentic, because what is really real on your social media and what is actually you pretending to be authentic? And the only thing that I can say is that, just be yourself. If you follow me in social media, you're going to see in my stories, like, you're going to see the crazy life of a mom and a realtor and me screaming at basketball games. Like, to me, that is true authenticity. That's something you can't fake. If you look at my post, that's more curated. That's more me, professional. And if you talk to any of my clients, they will tell you that I am straight to the point. When it's negotiations, I'm negotiating. I'm, no BS. I'm there. But I'm also there, like, in the houses, like, joking and laughing and, a curse word here and there, to just be relatable and have them see that I'm a real person. I'm not uptight in a suit jacket, and, I'm just me. I'm just me.
I think that is the best line of the day. Just be you.
Yeah. Just be you.
Just be you. That's the secret to success with this. So, in thinking of, we are on Power Your Voice today. Yeah. What do you think of when you think of that phrase? How does that make you feel? And what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Powering your voice is, again, just being you, getting out your message to attract your ideal clients, and sharing your God-given gifts to this world, however that portrays, whether you're a coach or a realtor or just a mom trying to survive everyday life. It's powering your voice is just internally powering who you are and who you want to be, and sharing that to maybe help someone else power their voice.
I think that's great. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
And if someone wanted to get in touch with you because maybe they want to buy a house, maybe they want to sell a house, or maybe they just want to get to know you because you're a really cool lady, how should they find you?
On social media, I'm Selling Suburbs with Steph, or they can go to www.sellingsuburbswithsteph.com.
That's great. And don't worry, we will put that in the show notes for everyone, so you don't have to memorize that. And thank you again, Stephanie, for joining us. I really appreciated you coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. How your business and your life has changed since you've been working with Delane in the Power Your Pay annual program.
Yes. So I will just say, I can't say enough about Delane. When I came to her as a business coach, I did not have clear processes. I thought I had an idea of what my processes should look like, but I was not able to execute them. And in turn, I was half a mother, half a realtor, half a woman with knowing that I had bigger dreams and bigger plans that I could not execute alone. So since working with Delane, my processes are streamlined. I know exactly day in, day out what I need to focus on to not only grow my business, but to get my time back so I can be with my family more than ever.
And can you also let us know how you have grown your business in the short period of time that you've been working together?
Since working with Delane, I have grown my business over $2.5 million, which is fantastic because if you are in the Chicagoland area, you know that the real estate market has been in a downward turn, less transactions. And with that being said, I've grown my business while most realtors have seen a decrease in their business.
And can you also tell us how the program has helped you personally?
Personally, the Power Your Pay has helped me find my voice, helped me find my true passion and where I want to not only take my businesses, but how I want to portray myself in real life, be present for my family, as well as continue to be a growing, influential woman to help other women out there chase their dreams.
And lastly, who would you recommend this program for?
I would recommend this program for any woman that is looking to level up not only their life, but their businesses, realtors, hairstylists, solopreneurs, mompreneurs, any entrepreneur really, that's really just looking to streamline their business to go from point A to point Z and really make such an impact on your life, your clients, and your families.